Hello, everybody. Board Game Lawyer here. It is a Friday, and so welcome to my Friday night Twitch. I've actually been playing Marvel Champions for a good chunk of the day, and I've decided I was going to make this Cable Day. So I've played with a couple of different games with Cable already today. Really like Cable, so let's go down to the table and see what challenge I'm going to take on this evening. So tonight I'm going to take on Kang the Conqueror, Standard Kang. And so let's take a look at his content. So we're using Kang 1 and 2. We're also going to use one modular encounter set, which is recommended temporal. Been a while since I played with Kang, so bear with me as I read through the cards as I'm playing. The setup says to set each Kang 2 and Kang 3 and Kang's Dominion side scheme aside and remove each player's obligation cards from the game. Shuffle the encounter deck. So I'm assuming that my obligation is not in there. I don't think I've played with Kang. I can't remember playing with Kang on Octagon. Let me just take a look and see if my obligation has been set aside. Not sure. I'm not going to look through the deck. If he ends up showing up for whatever reason, then we'll just discard it. But anyhow, it's pretty intuitive, the way they built this. So a lot of those things are already taken care of for us. So Dominion side scheme, remove each player obligation from the game, shuffle the encounter deck, and then we're going to flip over to side 1B. We have Kang's Arrival. It says, when revealed, deal each player an encounter card. If the stage is completed, the players lose the game. So right out of the gate, we get to deal ourselves an encounter card. Let's take a look at Kang the Conqueror. So he comes into play with toughness on him. It says when Kang attacks you, either place one threat on the main scheme or he gets +2 for this attack. And it says when defeated, advance the main scheme to stage 2A at the end of the phase. Okay, at the end of the phase, advance to stage 2A. All right. So that's everything to set up Kang. Let's play some Nathan Summers, who is Cable. His recovery is 4, Alter Ego, Mutant Soldier. You may include player side schemes from any aspect in your deck, and I think I have all the 4 main side aspects represented in my player deck today. I don't think I have any cards from Pool in there. There's only one option, right, for Pool, and I don't think I have it in there. Soldier X are set up as search your deck and discard pile for a player side scheme and put it into play. So before I do that, I'm able to mulligan. Let's take a look and see what cards I might have here. So we've got Forced Amnesia. After a non-permanent side scheme is defeated, add Forced Amnesia in that side scheme to the victory display. We have the Professor, which allows us to go look for player side scheme and add it to my hand. I've got Telekinetic Blast, One Way or Another, Strength, and Helicarrier. So probably Telekinetic Blast will be a little overcosted for what I want to do here at the first turn of the game. Definitely want to keep the Professor because it allows me to go hunt for a player side scheme. Probably Forced Amnesia. I'll go ahead and toss it off too as part of my mulligan. Keep the Helicarrier, One Way or Another, Professor. And let's see what else. We've got Clear the Area. And we draw one more, which is Multitasking. Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to do my setup. Search your deck and discard pile for a player side scheme and put it into play. Typically, I like to try to get the Technovirus out there. But I don't have... I've got like 2 cards. It cost me several cards to try to pull that off on the first round. I could always use the Professor to go and try to find it. So how about I do this? Yeah, one way or another. Yeah, I tell you what, we'll begin the game with, let's look at all the cards here. And I think I may, instead of going for the Technovirus Purge like I normally do, is I'm going to go do a call for backup. Yeah, that's the move I'm going to make. Close and shuffle. So that's the player side scheme I'm going to begin the game with. Helicarrier. Choose a player, reduce the resource cost of the next card this player plays this phase by 1. I could go ahead and put a helicarrier out. So strength, I'm going to spend strength, and I'm going to spend, how about multitasking, to put the helicarrier out. So we're going to use the helicarrier's action, exhaust helicarrier, choose a player, reduce the resource cost of the next card that player plays this phase by 1. So we'll go ahead and put out the professor. We'll exhaust the professor. It says exhaust professor, choose to either draw 1 card or search your deck and discard pile for a player's side scheme and add it to your hand. I think I'm going to look for a player's side scheme. Look at all cards, and the player side scheme that I'm going to pick is, I do want to definitely get that Technovirus Purge out there early. So even if it costs 0, I'll have it on the table. So I'll go ahead and grab Technovirus Purge with that Professor. Close and shuffle. Exhaust to do that. Alright, so now I can flip to my hero side. And it says after Cable defeats a side scheme, ready him. You can limit this. There's a limit of once per phase. So how about I use one way or another? Search the encounter deck for a side scheme. Reveal that side scheme, and draw 3 cards. Let's go see which side scheme I want to try to find there in the encounter deck. We've got Corrupted Time Stream. We also have Rampage, Time Portal. That's a good one because it says when the scheme is defeated, shuffle it into the encounter deck instead of discarding it. I like that. So we'll bring out the Time Portal and put it on the table. Close and shuffle the encounter deck. That'll allow us to draw 3 cards for one way or another. So 3 cards we're going to pick up are Multitasking, Energy, and Forge. Alright, so discard one way or another. Okay, multitasking would allow me to remove threat from 2 different schemes, which I kind of like that idea. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to spin Forge to play multitasking. What this will allow me to do is to... Oops, grab the wrong thing. We're going to spin Forge to play multitasking. It says hero action, remove 2 threat from a scheme. If you paid for this using a mental resource, remove 2 threat from a different scheme. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and take 2 threat off of Call for Backup. And then we'll take 2 threat off of the Time Portal. Time Portal says force interrupt. When this scheme is defeated, shuffle it into the encounter deck instead of discarding it. Okay, so we'll open up our encounter deck, throw the Time Portal in there, shuffle it up, and we'll discard multitasking. Okay, so Cable, we're going to exhaust Cable to remove the last threat from Call for Backup. Each player may search their deck and discard pile for an ally and put it into play. So we'll remove that last one. Call for Backup goes to the victory display. Instead of putting it in the victory display, though, for now, I'm just going to set it over here to the side, and I'm going to put 1 counter on it. That way, it'll represent the fact that it's been defeated. It's in the victory display, but my counters will help me keep track of how many side schemes are in the victory display. And so that allows me then to go find and fetch an ally and put it into play. So we're going to go find Mr. Nick Fury. He's our guy. He's our guy. All cards, Nick Fury. There he is. So put Nick Fury in our hand, or put him on the table. Close and shuffle. Once Nick Fury comes into play, it says that he can draw 3 cards. So we'll draw 3. We'll draw Establish Perimeter, Genius card, and the last one is the Followed card. Alright, so since we defeated a side scheme, we can ready Cable. We can do that once per phase. And now we have the Technovirus Purge. We've got Established Perimeter. We've got Followed. And we've got a couple of double resources here in our hand. So I think for sure I'm going to put out Technovirus Purge. Well, maybe I could hang on to that for a second. Let's do a Establish Perimeter. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll put the Establish Perimeter card out. It costs 1. So we'll spend, say, a Followed to do that. Yeah. And then we'll use the Genius. Let's see. Clear the area can take care of Establish Perimeter by itself. I don't get to ready again Cable anyway. So yeah, for now I'll just keep Cable upright. I'll spend a resource, which is Followed, to play Clear the Area. So Establish Perimeter is defeated. It's going to go to the victory display. And then that allows me to put a Tough Status card on the Cable. And since I played Clear the Area, I can draw a card because I defeated a side screen. So here's Multitasking. Discard those. Now I'm going to put Technovirus Purge on the table. With Cable, I will Exhaust to remove 2 threat off of Technovirus Purge. And there's no other schemes on the table, but I may as well go ahead and use Multitasking anyway. So yeah, I'll spend double energy to play Multitasking to take 2 threat off of the Technovirus Purge. Now Technovirus Purge says characters other than Cable cannot remove threat from Technovirus Purge, but Cable's using the Multitasking to get that threat down. So go ahead and discard that. We'll hang on to the Genius card. We have 2 in the victory display. Nick Fury is going to remove the Tough from Kang the Conqueror. And I believe that's going to end my turn. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and advance. Turn things over to Kang the Conqueror. So again, Kang the Conqueror says forced to interrupt. When Kang attacks you, either place 1 threat on the main scheme or he gets +2 for the attack. We've got that Tough. So we'll probably allow him to just go ahead and add 2 to his attack. We begin his turn by placing 1 threat on the main scheme. So Kang the Conqueror is going to attack Cable, and he's going to do so for... Oh, and we used Nick Fury earlier, so I didn't put a consequential on him. So he's going to hit him for 2, 3, 4 damage, +2 for this attack. So it's going to knock the Tough off of Cable. So we'll discard that. And no, I should have blocked with Nick Fury probably and preserved that Tough card. I already drew it, so that's fine. Deal ourselves another encounter card, and so that first encounter card is an Ancient Warrior. He has Quick Strike, so Nick Fury is going to jump out in front of that Quick Strike. Yeah, and he's going to get hit for 2, so he'll be gone anyway. That works. And then our other one is an Energy Blast that says, when revealed, hero Kang attacks you. And so here goes. Yep, he's going to attack us anyway. So it's all going to be the same in the end anyhow. So he's going to attack us. So the question is do we want to place 1 threat on the main scheme? Or it gets +2 for the attack. We'll put 1 threat on the main scheme. Kang's going to attack us. Let's go ahead and put that threat on the main scheme. 4, 2. +2 is 4. So he gets hit for 4. So that takes us down to 8. And that will end Kang's turn. We'll discard that. And we'll discard the Energy Blast. Okay. So we've got the Technovirus Purge on the table. It won't take much to knock it out. We've got Sense of Justice, superpower training, precognition, and mind scan in our deck, in our hand. So for sure, I'm going to play a sense of justice on the table. Let's see how I want to pay for that. I've got that helicarrier too. So I could pay for it with the mind scan can be used with precognition. And sense of justice. Superpower training says each player may search their deck and discard pile for identity specific upgrade and put it into play. First thing I'm going to do is with cable, I'm going to remove the threat off of the Technovirus Purge. So I'm going to send call for backup to the victory display. And then we'll mark Technovirus Purge. We'll keep it on the table. It's part of the victory display, but we'll put it on the table to remind us that we have 1 thwart, +1 attack, and +1 defense, and that there are 3 cards in the victory display. We'll ready Cable because he knocked out a side scheme. I can put another one on the table, Superpower side scheme, and I think we'll exhaust the helicarrier to do that. With that, I can either use Mind Scan to knock out Superpower Training, and that'll allow Cable to do some damage to the Ancient Warrior. We can get Sense of Justice out there on the table. Yep, I think that's what we're going to do. So we'll spend 2 resources to put Sense of Justice on the table. Discard Genius. So we use 1 resource from Sense of Justice, and the other card is Precognition to play the Mind Scan to remove 3 threat from Superpower Training. So Superpower Training says that I may search for an identity-specific upgrade and put it into play. So my identity-specific upgrade that I'm looking for is going to be my big gun. And let's see where it's at. There it is. It's my plasma rifle. Close and shuffle. So put the plasma rifle on the table. We'll discard Mind Scan and Precognition. Remove all the threat off of Superpower Training. Discard it to the victory display. And so yeah, now we've got 4 side schemes in the victory display. And Cable is just going to knock out that Ancient Warrior. Discard him. Okay. We'll turn things back over to Kang. So let's look at our hand. We got Keep Him Busy, which the player who defeated the scheme removes 5 threat from the main scheme. We've got Lock and Load, Gray Melican, Followed, and Clear the Area as the cards that are in our hand. Kang's Arrival. So we're going to place 1 threat on Kang's Arrival. Kang is going to attack us. He's going to attack us for 2, +2, or adds 1 threat to the main scheme. Let's go ahead and add 1 threat to the main scheme. He's going to attack us for 2, plus this card here, 3. So we're going to take 3 damage. Discard Temporal Shield. And the encounter card is Frozen in Time. It says attached to your identity, forced to interrupt. When attached character would ready, discard this card instead. Okay, so now I am frozen in time. And how can we get around that? We need to get rid of that. When attached character would ready, discard this card instead. After Cable defeats a side scheme, ready him, limit once per phase. Tell you what. I'd love to get Gray Melican out. I'm not going to be able to clear both of these side schemes. Yeah, I might. I've got Clear the Area. How about Keep Them Busy? Let's put Keep Them Busy on the table. We'll use the helicarrier to do that. Keep Them Busy is out. We'll exhaust Cable to remove 3 threat off of Keep Them Busy. So it's going to go to the player side or the victory pile. But before that happens, it says when defeated, remove 5 threat from the main scheme. So we'll clear the main scheme back down to 0. Keep Them Busy. We'll go to the victory display. We'll mark Technovirus Purge as having received another in the victory display. Now it says when attached character would ready, discard this card instead. So we'll go ahead and discard Frozen in Time because that would allow me to ready. So I won't get my ready this turn. But I am going to go ahead and spend about a resource to put out Lock and Load. And we'll use Follow to do that. Yeah, we'll use Followed to put out Lock and Load. So we'll discard that resource. And then we're going to use Sense of Justice to play Clear the Area, which Lock and Load says, when defeated, each player may search their deck and discard pile for a weapon upgrade with a cost of 3 or less and put it into play. So let's go ahead and do that first. Let's look through our deck. Find a weapon upgrade, which is going to be my Scimitar. Hopefully it's in there. Yep, there it is. So we'll put the Scimitar into play, close and shuffle. Lock and Load will go to the victory display. So we have yet another side scheme in the victory display. So Technovirus purges now. I'm using 6 counters here to represent the fact that we have 6 player side schemes in the victory display. Clear the area. Since we cleared all the threat with that card, we'll discard it and it'll draw us a card. Okay, so we got the IPAC out. It says play only if your identity has the X-Force trait. Exhaust IPAC and deal 1 face down encounter card to a player, and that player draws 2 cards. So yeah, I'm going to spin Gray Melican to put out IPAC. So I'll have yet another support on the table. And so I get to decide now, do I want to flip down into my alter ego form since there is no threat on the main scheme? And I think I will. I'm going to go ahead and flip down. This could be a disastrous decision. But yeah, I'm going to flip down into my alter ego form, advance the phase, turn things back over to Kang, and see what he can do on his turn. So I picked up Telekinetic Blast. I have Justice Served, One Way or Another, Moria McTaggart, Skilled Investigator, and Lay the Trap. Kang's Arrival. We place 1 threat on it. He's going to scheme for 1 plus 0. So we're going to place 1 more threat on Kang's Arrival. And then Kang's encounter card is depowered. You cannot play hero-specific cards. Alter Ego action, discard a hero-specific card from your hand to discard this operation. Looks like there's only 1 card in my hand that's hero-specific, and that is Telekinetic Blast, which is unfortunate. But we're going to go ahead and put that obligation out there on the table, and I do think that we want to move past that as quickly as we can. So yeah, we are going to advance things back over to me, and the first thing that Nathan Summers is going to do is to try to get rid of that depower. It's not going to be any good anyway with that Telekinetic Blast in my hand. So yeah, we're going to discard a hero specific card and discard this obligation. So yep, there goes my Telekinetic Blast. We'll discard it, and then we'll discard depowered. Alright, so Moria McTaggart would be good to get out onto the table. Let's see what we can do to get her out. I think I'm going to put all my upgrades on one side and put all my supports on the other. Nice to have all of these. I think before I put Moria McTaggart out, I am going to exhaust the Professor to draw a card. Maybe we get a double resource. Probably not. Okay, telekinetic force field. Oh, I should have used that one to instead of my telekinetic blast. Should have used my telekinetic force field to get rid of that obligation. Oh well. Okay, what are we going to do? I would like to get Moria McTaggart out, so we're going to use the Helicarrier. And one more card. I guess telekinetic force field. Yeah. We'll do that to put Moria McTaggart onto the table. So that's another support that we'll get out. Okay. And then should I exhaust? Let's see. Yeah, I got the one way or another. Tell you what, we'll just flip over to our hero side. When we do that, we can play Moria McTaggart. Response: after a mutant alter ego changes in their hero form, exhaust Moria McTaggart. That hero's controller draws one card. So I get to pick up a card, which is a Mind Scan. Okay. And now that I'm in hero form, I am going to play one way or another to look through the encounter deck, see which encounter card, which side scheme I want to put out. Probably the same one as before. Seemed like a good one. Time Portal. It's only 2 to get rid of it. And it goes back into the encounter deck. So one way or another, we use it up. We'll discard it. Draw 3 cards. So we got another Mind Scan. We draw Clear the Area, and we draw the Body Slide. So I could slip back down into alter ego form if I wanted to at the end of this turn. So we do want to get rid of the Time Portal. I think I'm going to exhaust Sense of Justice to do that. Let's see. Lay the Trap. I can use Cable for that. Yeah. If I use the Mind Scan, I can pull off use the Scimitar. Okay. Clear the Area, though. I could play Clear the Area. Oh, yeah. And I could put Skilled Investigator out. So let's do that. Let's put the Skilled Investigator out. Another upgrade. Then we'll exhaust Sense of Justice to play Clear the Area to remove the 2 threat from the Time Portal. We'll shuffle it back into the encounter deck. Shuffles in. Okay. And then since we remove the last threat of a scheme, we can use the Skilled Investigator to draw a card. And we can also use Clear the Area, since we took off the last threat, to put it out. So we're going to discard Clear the Area. So now we've got Justice Served, Lay the Trap, Mind Scan, Body Slide, Render Medical Aid, and Ironheart in hand. We'll put Lay the Trap on the table. Lay the Trap on the table. Now let's do this. Let's put Render Medical Aid out. There we go. It's free to put out. We'll exhaust Cable to remove all 3 threat off of Render Medical Aid. When defeated, each player heals a total of 5 damage from among characters that they control. So Cable's back up to 10. Render Medical Aid will go to the victory display. And we'll mark Technovirus Purge that we have 7 cards, side schemes now, in the victory display. Justice Served. Oh, we get the Ready Cable as well. I'm going to spend 1 resource. I'm going to spend Body Slide to put Lay the Trap on the table. Cable is going to exhaust to remove... No, let's do this. Let's before we do that, we're going to put... Ironheart on the table and draw a card, or... For sure, I want to put Justice Served out. So I'm going to spend a Mind Scan. Actually, I'm going to spend both Mind Scans to put out Ironheart. That allows me to draw a card. Temporal Leap, I'm going to spend it to put Justice Served on the table. Another upgrade. Ironheart. So Cable is going to remove 3 threat from Lay the Trap. When defeated, it says deal 5 damage to the villain. So we've knocked Kang down to 7. Lay the Trap goes to the victory display. And let me make sure that I have put everything that I was supposed to in the victory display. So yeah, there should be... Yeah, let me look at it. Look at the victory display. There are 6 side schemes in the victory display. And an additional 7th for Technovirus Purge is technically part of the victory display. Yeah. Exhaust Ironheart to do a damage. Now let's remove a threat from Kang's arrival, just in case. Now, since we defeated that side scheme, we also got to ready Cable, discard Justice Served. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do that since we took care of that last threat off of that side scheme. After you thwart and remove the last threat from a scheme, discard Justice Served, ready your hero. So then Cable's going to do 3 more damage to Kang the Conqueror. Alright, now I think that's the end of my turn. Didn't play any psionic cards, so I wasn't able to trigger Scimitar. And I don't want to necessarily deal myself an encounter card to draw 2 cards just yet. So we'll go ahead and advance the phase, and we'll turn things back over to Kang. So he places 1 threat on the main scheme. Kang is going to attack me. I'm going to jump out in front of that with Ironheart. So Kang is going to... he's going to hit for +2. And this one says 3. Has 3 boosts on it. So Kang is going to attack for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 damage into Ironheart. So Ironheart is discarded. And then Kang's encounter card reads, Ancient Warrior is a quick strike. It's going to do 2 damage to Cable. Alright. That's the end of Kang's turn. And I've got a lot of cards on the table. Sense of Justice. One way or another. Machine Man. Alright, I'm going to play the One Way or Another card. It allows me to search for that same scheme that I've been using all along. Hopefully it's still in there. Yep, Time Portal. We'll bring the Time Portal out, close and shuffle the encounter deck. One Way or Another allows us to draw 3 cards. Decked ourselves, so we got to deal ourselves an encounter card. We'll set it over here next to the Time Portal. Shuffle all of our cards back into our deck. And I get to draw 2 more cards, so Ironheart and the Mind Scan. So One Way or Another is discarded. Build Support. We can put it out. Each player may search their deck and discard pile for a support with cost 3 or less and put it into play. So I will exhaust the Helicarrier to put out Build Support. Build Support tells us when I defeat that. So yeah, Cable's going to go ahead and knock the 3 threat off of the Build Support. I believe that's what I'm going to do. Yep. Cable's going to knock 3 threat off the Build Support. So now I can search my deck and discard pile for a support that costs 3 or less. Let's look at what we got. And we find our Gray Melican. Good card. Close and shuffle. So we put it out on the table. Support, 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 support. Discard build support to the victory pile. Add another token to Technovirus Purge. So that tells us now that we have 8 cards in the victory display. All right. Ready cable. And we got rid of a side scheme so we can exhaust Skilled Investigator to draw a card, and it is multitasking. Mind scan. Let's see. I have a Sense of Justice on the table already. If I use the mind scan to remove threat off of either one of these two, which is that's the only psionic card I've got. So yeah, I've got so many options now. It's kind of hard to know what's the best one to do. I definitely think I want to try to get Ironheart out. So how about I do this? I'm going to exhaust Gray Melican, and I'm going to toss Sense of Justice to put Ironheart out. That allows me to draw a card, and it's another one way or another, so that's going to become a resource. Let's see. Cable is going to... Let's see. If I use Sense of Justice, I can... Yeah, multitasking, that's what I want to do. So I want to get rid of this time portal before I end up defeating Kang the Conqueror. So yeah, we're going to use multitasking. We're going to exhaust Sense of Justice to remove 2 threat off of Kang's arrival, and then 2 threat off of time portal. We're going to shuffle the time portal back into the encounter deck. Time portal gets shuffled in. Discard multitasking. Ready Gray Melican because the side scheme got defeated. And now we're going to use Gray Melican with the plasma rifle. We're going to spend that energy resource for the plasma rifle to knock Kang the Conqueror all the way down. Let's see. Let's get rid of the Ancient Warrior first, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure on that one how badly that's gonna hurt us going into the next turn. So yeah, Cable's going to knock out the Ancient Warrior. So now we exhaust Gray Melican for the plasma rifle to knock Kang all the way down to 0. Okay, now it says when advance the main scheme to stage 2 at the end of the phase. So my phase hasn't ended yet. I'm going to go ahead and get some more cards out on the table, I think. Let's go ahead and put Justice Served out on the table. We'll spend one way or another to do that. And we'll spend... Let's see, do I have any other resources here? Nope. We're going to Mind Scan. We'll spend Mind Scan and Saki-san to put Machine Man out onto the table. So I have now spent all my cards in my hand. My phase is going to end. Now it says advance the main scheme to stage 2A at the end of the phase. So I'm going to go ahead and end my phase. And so we're going to advance this to side 2A. And Kang was defeated. Yep, there it is, 2A. It says, when revealed, place one acceleration token here for each side scheme in play. There are none. Then discard each side scheme. Each player reveals a random stage 3A. In turn order, remove any unused stage 3 schemes from the game. Okay, so we got stage 3 side scheme here. It says, when revealed, create your own game area and place this scheme in it. Add Kang Scarlet Centurion to the game area and deal yourself an encounter card. So I get another encounter card. So this encounter card here, I guess that I got dealt before, it stays out there. We're going to deal us one more encounter card. Okay. Let's flip 2A, I think. Let's finish 2A. Everybody in... Yeah. So it's Master of Time. It says, when an acceleration token will be placed on another scheme, place it here instead. Players cannot join this area unless there's no other game areas remaining. Then all players have joined the game area, advanced to stage 4A. So we'll put it over here as kind of a game area that we're trying to attend to. So we're going to flip over to side 3B. On the main scheme, it says, force response. After the stage is completed, place one set aside Kang's Dominion face down under stage 4A. At the end of the phase, remove Kang's Scarlet Centurion and this stage from the game and combine your game area with another game area. If all players at this stage are defeated, this stage is completed. It comes into play with 2 threat on it. Okay, very good. And so Scarlet Centurion has toughness. It says this villain's attacks gain piercing. When defeated, remove the present, future, war, which is the main scheme, from the game at the end of the phase, and then join another game area. Okay. So it's his turn to begin with. So he's going to place one threat on the main scheme. Kang Scarlet Centurion is going to attack Cable. And I think I'm going to take the damage. And that damage is you are stunned. And I take 3 damage for that. Alright, so Cable's knocked down to 5. Deal ourselves another encounter card. So there's 3 encounter cards I got to deal with this turn. The first one is the Tyrannosaurus Rex, who has toughness. Tyrannosaurus Rex attack gain piercing. 6 health on the T-Rex. The next card is the future weapon attached to Kang. When Kang attacks, the attack gains overkill. If this attack damages a hero, that hero is stunned. After this attack, discard the future weapon. Alright, so we'll put that on there. And then the next card is Corrupted Time Stream. Players cannot trigger alter ego action abilities on obligations. When revealed, each player must either discard 1 random card from hand or place 2 threat here. 1 random card from hand or place 2 threat there. Let's see. I think I'll place 2 threat on the Corrupted Time Stream. There we go. Alright, so that is going to end Kang's turn. He's got a future weapon on him now. He's got a lot of health and a tough card to get past. 9 threat on present future war. A T-Rex and a Corrupted Time Stream. There's a lot of stuff out there to contend with. So, as always, I think I'm going to begin with a one way or another. I think our side scheme that we're looking for is still in the encounter deck. I didn't see it pop out as an encounter card or a boost. I don't think. Yep, there's the Time Portal. So we'll put the Time Portal on the table. Close and shuffle the encounter deck. Draw 3 cards for one way or another. got 1, we got 2, and we got 3. So clear the area. We could use clear the area to get rid of the time portal. That would draw us a card. Corrupted time stream. Let's see. We have some choices here. Let's see. Precognition is a psionic card. That would be 2 damage. I do think we need to knock that tough off of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. It'd be a good idea to get rid of that T-Rex. What do you think? So we could use Ironheart to do that. We're going to place 1 damage on Ironheart to remove the tough off of Tyrannosaurus Rex. Gray Melican to fire the plasma rifle at the T-Rex. That's going to do 4 damage to the T-Rex. Because the plasma rifle's ability is to do a maximum of 4 for that attack onto the T-Rex. And I'm stunned. Oh, that's the reason why I can't. Yeah, I got to clear my stun before I can do that. So there's the stun is gone for Cable. The plasma rifle goes off. Then to do 4 damage to the Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yep, had to do that first. How about... Yeah, I'm going to spend a resource for Forced Amnesia. We'll put Forced Amnesia onto the Corrupted Time Stream. It's a psionic card, so whenever I play that psionic card, I get to exhaust the scimitar. So that's going to knock the T-Rex out. T-Rex down. I'm going to spend a resource for Sense of Justice to play Clear the Area to remove 2 threat from the time portal. Several things happen. First off, the time portal goes into the encounter deck. So let's move it into there and shuffle. Shuffle that up. Clear the area. Draws me a card. Here we go. So there's the followed card. Clear the area is discarded. We also cleared a side scheme, so we're going to use Skilled Investigator to draw a card. So that's Forge. And then Gray Melican is readied because the side scheme was defeated. Cable is readied because a side scheme was defeated. Yeah, defensive perimeter. Is that... Let me see what that future weapon does. It says, when Kang attacks, the attack gains overkill. This attack damages a hero. That hero is stunned. After this attack, discard future weapon. So I could put... It doesn't have piercing. I don't think it has piercing. Let me see. Nope, this villain's attacks gain piercing. So yeah, Kang Scarlet Centurion would go right through that tough card, and that would do a lot of damage. So I need to figure out a way to get rid of this future weapon. Probably not going to be able to do it this turn. So, Corrupted Time Stream. Let's see. Yeah, how about Machine Man is going to remove a threat from the Corrupted Time Stream. Yeah. Place 1 consequential damage onto Machine Man. I will exhaust Cable to remove the other 3 threat off of the Corrupted Time Stream. Corrupted Time Stream is going to go to the victory display because the Forced Amnesia is on the table. Yeah, this was just simply on the table. It wasn't necessarily on that scheme, but I'm going to use it for that scheme. So Corrupted Time Stream is going to go to the victory display, and that's going to add 1 more side scheme to the victory display, and that's where Forced Amnesia also goes. It goes to the victory display. There we go. All right. So because we used Cable to remove the threat. Yeah, we'll go ahead and ready Cable because we're going to use that sense Justice Served card. Yeah, discard Justice Served. We are going to put Forge out onto the table. We're going to spend a couple resources for that. Do I want to deal myself an encounter card? No, not necessarily. So I'm going to spend 2 resources to put Forge out onto the table. So we'll spend Justice Served and one of these followed cards. Actually, 2 followed cards. Yeah, let's spend 2 followed cards to put Forge out onto the table. So Forge is going to attack Kang Scarlet Centurion to knock that tough off. Establish Perimeter gives my identity a tough status card. Oh yeah, I got Gray Mulligan too. I can't forget that. Yeah. So how about with Gray Mulligan, we put Justice Served on the table. Let's put all of our allies on one side. Justice Served is out. I'll put a Establish Perimeter on the table using the Body Slide. How's that? So Establish Perimeter is out. With Cable, we're going to, says when defeated, give each identity a tough status card. So we're going to send the Establish Perimeter to the victory display. So it's 10 side schemes in the victory display now. And I get a tough status card. How about I flip down? I'm going to play Precognition to, and this says that I can look at the top X cards of the encounter deck, where X is the number of side schemes in the victory display. You may discard one of those cards, put the rest back in any order. So I get to look at 10 cards. I'm going to line them up right here across the table. Let me move everything that I have down. And we're going to look at 10 cards in the victory display, or in the encounter deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So basically I'll get to pick which card I want to use as my, see, Time Traveling Tactics. Surge, when revealed, each player takes 1 indirect damage for each obligation in their play area. It's a surge, so we'll move it down the line. Weakened, after you play a basic hero power, take 1 damage. Discard that. So there's another obligation that will kind of push down the line. Energy Blast. We'll most likely be shuffling this deck before we get much deeper into it. Alter Ego action. Discard an ally or support you control. If you cannot, this card gains Surge. We'll move it down the line. Stolen Memories says place the top 8 cards of your deck face down under this card. Don't like that. I might just toss that one. Time Traveling Hijinks. Chitauri Soldier. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I don't like here. Chitauri Soldier. So just be a 3 health character I would bring out. So yeah, I'm going to discard something I don't want to see, which is Weakened. Stolen Memories. Yeah, I think Stolen Memories is the card that I'm going to discard. We're going to put an advance on top because that'll be the boost card. Rampage down the line. We'll put that down the line. The card that we want to draw is probably the Chisari Soldier. Won't hurt my feelings if he's out too much, I don't think. So then we'll put. We definitely don't want to draw into another advanced, but we'll put that underneath, and then we'll do maybe a side scheme. Time traveling tactics, time traveling hijinks, weekend. Next we'll put the energy blast, and then we'll put depowered, and we'll put these time traveling hijinks, time travel tactics, and weekend at the bottom of the encounter deck. So those will all go down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All right. So all of my cards are used. Justice served. Does it go away? No, I just put it on the table, so it's not going to go away just yet. I am going to flip down to my alter ego form. Yeah. And I'm going to move precognition. Rest back in any order. So yeah, precognition's gone. Let's move all of my allies down in my turn. Turn things back over to Kang. All right, so we got the mind scan, strength, energy, temporal leap, and force field, telekinetic force field. All right, we'll place one threat onto the present, future war. Kang is going to scheme for 0 plus 0. So no threat onto the main scheme. And the encounter card he's going to deal is the Chitauri Soldier. So we have a soldier to contend with. Let's see. All right, so I got the telekinetic force field. Let's advance things. Turn it over to me again. Scimitar. If I use the mind scan to remove threat from the main scheme, I can trigger the Scimitar. Be nice if I could get rid of. Yeah, let me look at my discard pile, which isn't very big right now. Considering, I'm going to look at and see if I've used up both of my blasts. No, all I've got is Justice cards, Mind Scan, so there are a couple of different blasts in there. It'd be nice to pull that off right now, because then I could take this Kang all the way down to 0. So that's my discard pile. I do need to draw some cards. How can I do that? Skilled Investigator would allow us to draw a card, but we have to, after a side scheme is defeated, exhaust Skilled Investigator to draw a card. I think I'm going to use the iPack. Play only if your identity has the X-Force trait. So I do have to flip up. I don't think I'm going to heal. Bad idea. Is that a bad idea not to heal? Yeah, I think I will heal. I'm going to heal 4 damage. Okay. Then I'll flip over to my hero side. I have Moria McTaggart, so whenever I flip to my hero side, I can exhaust her to draw a card. And it's a multitasking. Not exactly what I was wanting, but I'll take it. And then we'll exhaust the iPack to deal myself a face-down encounter card, which we know is in advance now. Ugh. Okay, so that's a dealt to us. But I do get to draw 2 cards. So the first card is Nick Fury, and the next card is multitasking. I'm not sad to see Nick Fury, because that'll allow me to draw 3 cards. So I'm going to exhaust the Helicarrier. Nope. I'm going to hang on to that Helicarrier. I'm going to put Nick Fury out on the table, and I'm going to spend an energy and a strength. We actually got to get rid of... We got to get rid of one of these guys first, so... Before I can put Nick Fury out. So we'll hold that for now. Ironheart is going to attack the Chisari Soldier. Or Kang. Nope, I'm going to attack the Chisari Soldier. For 1 damage. So we'll discard Ironheart. Now Nick Fury is going to take her place. Discarding energy and strength to draw 3 cards. We've got Clear the Area, a Telekinetic Blast, which is what we were looking for, and a Clear the Area. All right, good. So this is where we take it to Kang, Scarlet Centurion, because we are going to use that Telekinetic Blast. We're going to use a resource from the Helicarrier and 2 from the Genius to do a Telekinetic Blast into Kang Scarlet Centurion. So it's going to hit him for 6 damage, plus 1 additional damage to that enemy for each side scheme in the victory display. Let's see. When defeated, remove the present future war from the game. At the end of the phase, join another game area. So at this point, basically all the cards are going to be is to put out additional upgrades onto the table, right? Yeah. That's what it's going to amount to, is putting out upgrades on the table. Huh. Oh well. So Telekinetic Blast goes off. Yeah, Telekinetic Blast goes off. And we're going to do 6 damage to Kang. Plus another 10 damage from the Technovirus Purge. Takes him all the way down to 2. And then the Scimitar, because this was a psionic, exhausts to do 2 more damage to Kang Scarlet Centurion. Alright. Discard these cards. So Kang Scarlet Centurion is defeated. It says, when defeated, remove the present future war from the game. At the end of the phase, join another game area. So, yeah, I think that whenever I join another game area, I don't know that these other cards will follow me. Maybe they will. We're going to flip the Scarlet Centurion over to show that he's been defeated. And I don't want the Chisari Soldier to go with me. I'm not sure. I think, but he does end up going with me to the other side. So Nick Fury is going to defeat the Chisari Soldier. Telekinetic Force Field, we'll put that out on the table for 2. We'll spend yeah. We'll just spend up all these cards. We're going to spend multitasking to put out the Telekinetic Force Field. We'll spend put out the Temporal Leap. Now we'll hang on the Temporal Leap. We'll just put out Telekinetic Force Field. How's that? Leave Machine Man and Forge alone. So that is going to end the phase. So I'll go ahead and discard Kang. Are all players ready to advance to stage 4A? I believe so, yes. Okay. So when that happened, Kang the Conqueror 3 came out. He comes into play with a toughness on him. Future Weapon, I think that goes away, right? Yeah, because that was on the other Kang. We're going to discard that. Kang's Wrath comes into play. It says, reveal Kang 3, add him to the game area. Reveal each face down Kang's Dominion under this stage. There is no Kang's Dominion underneath that stage, I don't believe. No. That encounter card go with me too? I think it did. It's still dealt to me. So I'm going to still have to deal with the encounter card. So the phase ended. So it says, reveal Kang 3, add him to the game area, reveal each face down Kang's Dominion under the stage. Then we're going to flip to the other side, which says, when revealed, each player searches the encounter deck discard pile and set aside area for their Nemesis minion and puts it into play. Engage with them. Shuffle the encounter deck. Okay. So let's do that. Should have advanced the whole phase. All right, so we're going to go find our... There's Technovirus Purge. We don't need that. So Strife comes out. So he's here. He has Villainous. Force Interrupt. When a player plays a psionic event, cancel the effects of that event and deal 1 damage to Strife. So we use Nick Fury. So we need to put consequential damage on him. Alright, so Kang is going to attack. Let's see. When revealed, each player searches the encounter deck discard pile, set aside area for Nemesis minion, puts it in play with the gauge item, shuffle the encounter deck. Ooh. Counter deck gets shuffled. Okay. And that's it. So it's Kang's turn. Kang's going to attack us. He's going to attack us for 2. It says when Kang attacks you, either place 1 threat on the main scheme or he gets +2 for this attack. He doesn't have piercing, I don't believe, so I can probably just go ahead and take this damage. Unless this causes me problems. Nope, it's just 1. So that's going to knock the tough off, so that takes care of the boost. And now Strife is going to attack. Nick Fury is going to jump out in front of it. Strife is going to attack for 2 plus a boost, which is 1. That's going to knock Nick Fury out. Discard card. Kang the Conqueror is going to deal an encounter card. We've already had 1 from before. I think it's advanced. Yep, sure is. So Kang is going to scheme for 2. Plus this card here too. So we're going to place 4 threat on the main scheme. And I think we got past our other advanced card before. So hopefully there's no more scheming. Shadow of the Past. It says, reveal your set-aside Nemesis minion, put it into play, engage with you. Reveal your set-aside Nemesis side scheme and put it into play. Shuffle the rest of your set-aside Nemesis set into the encounter deck. If your Nemesis minion does not enter the game this way, this card gains Surge. Isn't that nice? So here comes another side scheme, Back to the Future. 3 cards from his deck get shuffled in. Shuffle. Let's send this to the out of play area. Yeah, there we go. And hey, Steve. Sorry, I hadn't looked over there for a minute. Good to see you, bud. Yep, we're going up against Kang with a loaded down Cable today. Alright, and we just drew our Shadow of the Past. But we already had Strife on the table when Kang 3 popped out. He took him out. So we'll discard Shadow of the Past. We do Surge because we didn't bring our Nemesis minion out. And we have the Macrobots. Guard, Retaliate 1. So now we have another minion to deal with on the table. Alright. So I've got a Telekinetic Blast, which is deal 6 damage to an enemy. Deal 1 additional damage to that enemy for each side scheme in the victory display. We do have a guard that we need to get rid of. I think we can do that with our plasma rifle. So yeah, let's pop the Macrobots. We're going to spin Gray Malikan and the plasma rifle to knock out the macrobots. Discard them. Forge is going to attack Kang the Conqueror to knock off his tough. Whoop. I can do 16 damage to Kang the Conqueror with the telekinetic blast. That'll knock Kang the Conqueror down to 4. And then if I had enough resources left over, which I could use Machine Man to finish off Kang the Conqueror. Wouldn't that be great? Let's do it. I don't even need that many resources. So we're going to exhaust the eye pack to deal ourselves an encounter card. That draws 2 cards. Mind Scan, decked myself. So I got to shuffle everything into the encounter deck. Okay, everything is shuffled back in. Get to draw 1 more card. I'm going to spend 3 resources for Telekinetic Blast. We've got the Helicarrier. That's 1. 2 for Mind Scan. 3 for Clear the Area. To do the Telekinetic Blast, we're going to hit Kang the Conqueror for 6. Let's see, so he started out at 20, so that knocks him down to 14. 10 more because of the Telekinetic Blast. Takes him all the way down to 4. Because we used a Psionic, we're going to exhaust the Scimitar to do 2 more damage to Kang the Conqueror. And then Cable is going to hit Kang for 3, knocking him all the way down to 0. So, Cable, with a whole assortment of upgrades and supports, as well as 10 cards in the victory display. So what I did was I used Technovirus Purge to keep track of how many side schemes I had in the victory display. So I ended up with 10 side schemes in the victory display today. So that Telekinetic Blast went off, taking Kang the Conqueror number 3 all the way down to 4, and then we just finished him off with the Scimitar and Cable. What a fun game. What a fun way to build up your board state. Had a blast playing against Kang today. Thanks for watching if you tuned in. We may upload this one to YouTube. If you saw anything that I did wrong throughout the course of my gameplay, please include it in the comments down below. Always like to learn where I made a mistake, or if I did a suboptimal play where I could have done something better, I like to learn that as well. So doesn't hurt my feelings. Point that out too in the comments down below. Anyway, thanks for watching my stream today. I am the Board Game Lawyer. You can catch me here on Twitch. You can also catch me over on YouTube, Discord. You can send me an email at boardgamelawyer@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in today. Hope to bring you another video again soon. Hopefully this weekend. Maybe even some multiplayer if I can coax a friend into doing that. So, we'll talk to you later, friends. Bye.